what's the point of paying for 8 tool stations if you're only going to use 4 of them? Nothing. So today I'm going to show you how to use tool 51 through 54 on the B arm of your L32 Type 12. I'm going to show you how to touch them off and how to program them. Let's get started, gang. So the first step is to get a collet, and then you put a tool in that collet. We're going to jog our stock back out of the way so we don't have any interference from the front side tools, because that arm is going to swing around to 90 degrees so that we can touch off the part in our sub spindle. So we will just jog that back out of the way. No worries about anything hitting. And then the touch off process is exactly the same as touching off a backside tool 31 through 39. So hopefully you watched our video on that and you know how to do that. The process is going to be exactly the same. So we're going to the prep page, scroll down to tool 52. We're touching off tool 52, longitude, man set, cycle start. Just like touching off the backside. No footage of the screen this time. If you didn't get it, go watch the other video. And the process is exactly the same. You're just scrolling down a couple more pages to tool 52 or 51 or 54 or whatever tool you're putting in there. So you can see that arm swung around and it's coming over. It's going to come over to X0, Y0, center of the guide bushing. And then the sub is going to come up, and then you can touch it off with paper like normal. And turn your feed over, right down. And she stopped. Fortunately, we have some clearance. Oops. And we're just going to touch it off with paper, just like any other tool on the backside. Just jog it up and touch it off. There we go, 195. Input, opposite retract. And we're good to go. We're going to jump over to the computer and do some screen capture, and I'm going to show you the programming that makes it work, because it is a son of a and it took us 3 days and emails to every machining channel on YouTube. So tools don't work without code, and I'm going to show you the scaffolding of the code so that you can do it at home. First, I have to give a huge thank you to Stewart from Citizen Machinery UK for being the only one to respond to me and actually help me fix this problem and sort out what was going wrong. So huge shout out to you. If you're ever in Frankenmuth, beers are on me. We'll jump over to the screen here. And this is just a stripped down scaffold so that you can take it and plug your own in there. So pretty standard. If you're looking at the screen, we got tool 3, phase turn, whatever crap you need to do to your part before you cut it off. What we really care about is a cutoff. So here we go. Queuing codes, G650, syncing, coming up, picking up, cutting off, and then this G600 cancels it. So right here, we got a rapid move, stock diameter plus 100, and then a W move. So we're picking the tool up, we're picking up the cutoff, and we're sucking the stock back to get it out of the way. Because remember, if you saw when we were touching off, there's tools in 11 through 14 also. There's tools on the front side. And the machine does not care. It will come over and smash those tools into your bar if it's sticking out. So we want to suck the bar back. We got queuing commands. When in doubt, add queuing commands. G600. Doing it with tool 51 through 54 is very particular about canceling everything and making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. So we have G600. We have a G910 initial positioning. G910 moves the B-axis without turning B-axis mode on. So we're just moving it. So for the initial positioning, you will position it as if it is from side 1. So side 1, your tool's perpendicular to your bar is 91 to negative 46. So we want minus 15. So it's going to be parallel to our bar, and then we're going 15 degrees past 0. We're calling it as if it's from side 1. Stop the spindle, stop the sub spindle, inches per minute, turn the gang tooling on, tool 52, 1/4 inch floor fluid end mill, that's what you saw me touch off, rapid approach, Z minus 1 point, and then our offset call. And then here's our coordinate rotation and work plane, your G900, G950, just like it would be on the front, except you are describing your work plane rotation from the sub spindle. So now that you've called tool 52, you're in sub spindle mode, and you have 0 to 45. Actually, you have -6 to 45, but 0 is facing the sub, it's square to the end of the sub, and then you got negative, positive 45. -6 to positive 45. So we're calling positive 15. So when we initially positioned that tool, we called B negative 15 as if it's from the front, and now that tool 52 is active, it knows it's working on the sub spindle, so it's positive 15 degrees. So what we're doing on the part that we're going to jump back to the machine and show you after this is we're milling to establish a drilling face. We're drilling, we're milling some more, and then we're doing some high-speed surfacing, all on angles, 15 and 20 degree angles. So you'll see that in this program scaffold. So there, mill face for drilling, it's right in there. I left the comments in there, and you can take this and pause the video, grab this, modify it for whatever you need, 4 degrees, 25 degrees. So you just plug in your G-code there. You can just use your default mill post, get all your XY coordinates, everything in G950. All the XY values are radial, so you can just use the default milling post, cut out the stuff you don't need, take the stuff you do and plug it in there. It's very particular, so after everything, G951, cancel your coordinate rotation. G901, turn your B-axis mode off. You have to do it after every tool, and then we've got the offset cancel right there. We call the next tool, that should be an M48, it's fine. It's not hurting anything. Tool 53 just calls the next tool. Same angle, we don't have to reposition the B. Same deal, B15, coordinate rotation, then we've got our G83, we're doing a pec drill at a 15 degree angle into the part, into that face that we just milled. We're done with that, we move down, Y-2, drill another hole, drill as many holes as you want, clearance move. So here we're changing the angle from 15 to 20, back to tool 52, and then it's B20. That's all it is, B20. Now that you're in the sub spindle mode, you just call the angle you want, -6 to 45, and just make sure you have your part orientation correct that you can actually do what you need to do. And this is milling a 20 degree face, so it's milling off that 15 degree drilling face, milling the final finished 20 degree face, and then it's got some variables in there for high-speed surfacing, which you're going to see when we jump over to the machine. Same deal, you're done, Z-400, cancel your coordinate rotation, turn your B-axis off, cancel your tool offset, shut your live tools off, retract the sub, and then we'll let the front go. So we're back to the front. What I had to do, if you run it like this is a preliminary draft of this. If you run it like this, you'll get the same B-axis illegal alarm if you try and run it in continuous. It'll run single cycle, but you have to, after I'm done with the milling, they have to home out the B-axis, otherwise it'll throw that B-axis illegal alarm. I just called tool 12. We're using 52 on the back. Tool 12 is on the other side of it. So I just called tool 12. It's returned control of the B-arm to the front side, and then I just went G9, 10, B1. Just home that B-arm out, and then it runs continuous fine. There's no more issues. Tool 1, turn the main spindle on, rapid approach, stick the stock back out, and then just skim that face to reestablish 0, and then you have your reset for the next part. So this is all done before the sub spindle runs the backside tooling. So this is all, if you run one cycle, it's going to cut the part off, and then the sub's going to come back in and use 52 and 53 before the cycle ends. And then when you run the next part, it's going to come over, do your back work. You look up here from the top of the program, runs down, G630, free machining pattern. You could use a G600, calls the backside, so it runs a quick little pass on the backside to finish the part. And then it'll come back. But this is all this drilling and milling is done on one cycle, right? If that makes sense. It's done at the end. It's a continuation of the front side of the program. And then we do have it set up for last part. And then that's what we're doing. The only thing we're doing at the end, it'll run everything on the front side, come up, pick off, cut off, bring the B-arm around, 52, 53, and then it'll come over and run your backside again. Just like it normally would, there's just, you know, more tools, and the sub's doing stuff on the main part of the program, if that makes sense. So I think that about covers it. Let me scroll back up here and give you another good look at the structure of that so that you can grab it. That should be enough time. If you haven't got it by now, scroll back or rewatch the video, drive that view count up. And we're gonna go over to the machine and I'm gonna show you what that actually looks like when we're running it. All right, we are back at the machine. I've gone through and run apart until it's ready to pick off, cut off, and then do that back work with tool 52 and 53. So we're gonna walk it up real slow. This is just standard pick off, cut off. A little bit interesting because the part's rectangular. There she goes, picking off, cutting off. It's gonna be a little bit smoky, but it's good for you. Sucks that stock back, and then you can see it brings that arm around minus 15 degrees, calls it over, and now we've established our plane. We're gonna mill that 15-degree face. There you go, ta-da! Bringing the drill in. I have to turn the coolant on for this. Drill in the second hole. And then we're gonna come back and I'll try to, oh, there we go. Shut the coolant off and you'll watch it change from 15 to 20 degrees. There you go, watch that. How cool was that? You just don't see content like this anywhere else. So now we're establishing that 15-degree face. We're gonna come in and we're gonna do some high-speed surfacing. High speed's relative. All you Makino guys can keep it to yourself. So that's what 174 inches a minute looks like. We're gonna surface 2 rads, and then she's done. And you'll probably be able to see it on that camera. I put it on last part, so we'll come over and finish the back side. Calls tool 12, cancels the B axis, sticks the stock out, cuts off, you get a good clean bar end, rechucks, and then it just comes over and finishes the backside, you know, the side 2 work, just like you normally would. Piece of cake. You know, once you know how to do it, it's no different than anything else. It's just knowing how to do it. So again, I gotta thank Stewart at Citizen Machinery UK for making this possible. Oh, and there we go. Whew. The part's done, and so is this video.